Johnny Cota, you won the 4th episode of Making the Cut, where you only had 7 hours to make an accessible look using leftover fabric from previous challenges. After having 2 days and help from a seamstress on previous challenges, was that the hardest challenge up to that point? Like, pending whatever we see later on in the season?
Yes, it was my absolute worst nightmare. I mean, I'm really rusty with my sewing skills. I'm used to working with pattern makers and seamstresses. So when Tim told us we had 7 hours to make a look ourselves, I was like, okay, Cota, this is when you go home. But somehow I work really well under pressure, and I think it kind of like lit the fire under my ass that I needed.
And you were just going into that from having, such a really good challenge in the collaborations challenge, where you were one of the top teams. So did you feel that extra sense of confidence going into that 7-hour challenge, or did it just completely cut you down? It's like no time to kind of even celebrate that good moment.
I mean, episode 2 was so brutal. I mean, Naomi really. I was on my deathbed right there. So to have the validation of the judges with Megan in episode 3, it kind of changed things for me. I'm like, okay, Cota, don't count yourself out yet. Like there's a chance that you can do this. And so really, it gave me the motivation I needed to really push myself on episode 4, and it worked.
And you used the black and white striped fabric that you had used in the previous challenge with when you teamed up with Megan. And a lot of people had said, when you were making those looks initially, that fabric sort of felt more representative of her style than yours. So did you always feel confident that you could make that your own the way you did, or did you have doubts along the way?
I had total confidence that what I was going to create was so vastly different than what Megan would have done. And so I didn't care. I had no fears about it. Everyone else was kind of stoking this paranoia, but I knew what was going to be totally different. I mean, if someone's style is based around a fabric, then it's like, well, then what else are you offering besides fabric? It's like, I would never think someone else in the competition using black leather would be too similar to my style. It's leather. It's not the material. It's what you do with it.
And you seem to come up with that idea for that sort of Bride of Beetlejuice concept. Really, have you always had sort of that idea in the back of your mind that you decided to throw together, or was that a completely new concept that you decided to try out?
I mean, for my brand Skin Graft, I do love a kind of prairie dress. I love Victorian sleeves and stuff. So it's a silhouette that I'm familiar with, and then kind of teaming it up with the fabric. It kind of just all fell into place. It wasn't my plan. As I'm sewing it, I'm like, what is this? Who is this? And the Bride of Beetlejuice came to mind. I was like, okay, this is perfect. Also, I make leather jackets. You need something to wear under those leather jackets. And this is totally the girl. This is totally the dress that would be under one of my leather pieces. So I thought it was really harmonious.
And, making a look in 7 hours, how does that compare, I'm sure incredibly differently, but how differently to your usual creative process under normal non-reality TV circumstances?
I was cursing the sky when they gave us the challenge of only having 7 hours, but I realized, as a designer, sometimes I'll stare at the wall all day for a day, having designer's block, or what's the idea? And this time, there's no time to think. And in the moment, I hated it, but reflecting back, it was exactly what I needed. I needed it to just be think of an idea, do it. Feel strong about it. Don't second guess yourself. Just do it. Not having the time to reconsider or to get caught in my head turned into a blessing.
So if you had it to do, to redesign the whole season, you just make all of them 7-hour challenges to get out of your own head?
No, don't quote me on that. That sounds like a terrible idea. No, I don't look forward to doing that challenge again, but I think that in the end, I surprised myself and I surprised everyone on the show, and it turned into a major triumph for me.
And going from that second episode where you got those tough critiques from the judges, and then building it back up, a lot of people could have their confidence really shaken by that, and then you ended up really kind of, and not only having that critique, but then having to work with someone else, which can be an unfamiliar situation. Like, what was your mindset? Just kind of after did you think like, oh, I might go home? I'm gonna go home next. I'm gonna go home next.
Well, I do truly believe all press is good press. So even to get beat up by Naomi Campbell was an opportunity for me to explain myself, and was an opportunity for me to like present my personality to the judges, because they're just getting to know me. So I was thrilled I made it through that beating, but it was also like an opportunity to say, here's who I am and here's what I believe. Now, going into a collaboration challenge, freshly off the heels of getting beat up by the judges, was difficult. And that's why when I'm working with Megan, I'm usually an outspoken leader, but I knew I'm at the bottom of this competition right now. I can't collaborate with someone and just like dictate my designs and really push too strongly against what she wants to do, because I was already kind of feeling like wounded, you know what I'm saying? So I kind of listened to her more. I think in the end it worked out really great, but you see there's a lot of tension in the episode, because there's times I feel like it was too Megan, but I didn't have the space or the power to really speak up. Luckily, it all worked out in the end, but it was a challenge.
Having been in both situations where you get tough criticism from the judges and praise from the judges, like when they call you forward to get your critiques, do you usually feel confident that you know what it's going to be? Like, oh, this is going to be a bad one, or oh, this is going to be a good one, or you're just like, I have no idea what they thought. I hope it's good.
I have no idea. I mean, they're tricky, they keep you on your toes. Like, you don't know, like, is there one winner? Is there two winners? Is one person going home? Is people going home? Like, for both episodes 3 and 4, I felt good about what I did. So I wasn't that worried about going home. But I also feel like we were always surprised and never comfortable in our shoes. Like, everyone was always sitting on the edge of their seats. So I had no idea. And so episode 4, when I got called up, I was like, okay, this could be going home or it could be the winner. Just have to wait and see.
And working with another designer to sort of inform your own aesthetic and blend your aesthetics, do you take away anything from that you feel like has transformed your work as a designer and made you think differently about your own aesthetic going forward, even on your own, as opposed to working with a collaboration?
I mean, it's a great lesson. What I hope to do with my brand, even more than launching new collections for Skin Graft or for Johnny Cota, whatever, is to collaborate with other brands. I would love to do, a shoe for Nike or something for Adidas, or work on, sunglasses with Ray-Ban or something like that. And this is what I aspire to as a designer. So this was a great challenge to be teamed up with another designer, another aesthetic, and find a way to not mute either aesthetic, bring them together to make the combination of both the voices stronger than either voice separate. So it was like collaboration boot camp for what I hope will be a career of lots of great collaborations in the future.
One of the most important aspects of the show is always Tim Gunn and sort of the point of view he brings to the fashion, both in the beginning and when he's advising all the designers on what their work is. Are those consultations especially stressful, or do you feel like you've learned a lot from him over the course of the process of doing the show?
I learned so much from Tim Gunn. He really became my saint, Saint Gunn. He has so much wisdom, he has so much experience, and he just wants to see us all succeed. He's not trying to set you up. I really do feel, though, he's like the Oracle in the Matrix. He tells you what you need to hear. So maybe that's him saying, hey, what you're doing doesn't look good, you should reconsider. And then maybe you listen and reconsider. But he can also tell you something like in episode 4 where he's like, this fabric looks too much like Megan. I could have freaked out and changed my plan. But as he said that, I felt even stronger about my decision. It's like I felt like I had to deflect what he said, and it made me feel stronger about what I was doing. And it was exactly what I needed to hear. Even though I didn't follow his advice, it was still what I needed to hear.
Well, congratulations on that look, winning the challenge for fighting for your life. Literally, you're fighting for your fashion life. And thank you so much for talking to me today.
Thank you so much. I enjoyed it. Let's do it again.
Well, we'll see what happens in the coming weeks.
Fingers crossed.